Good morning, afternoon, or evening. My name is Reverend Jen Pomfrey, the Healthy Happy Witch, and as you can see, I am experimenting with a new way of recording. Um, y'all know that I love to experiment with things. I love technology. I love new ways of creating, and I saw this as an availability through Canva, and I want to experiment with it. And what better way to do so than with a topic I'd like to elaborate on based on a short I made, talking about hell, purgatory, and heaven, and how these can be looked at a lot differently than what religious orders and constructs have taught us. The definition, the etymology, the history, the root of both the words hell and heaven means covered or concealed, to cover, right? So now, if we look at these places not as destinations, but existing planes of consciousness and experience, we realize that hell and heaven are undiscovered, untapped potential within ourselves. We can realize that these are places within us that yearn for our desire to find them. Hell can be described as a place of anguish and pain, darkness, discomfort. Doesn't that feel like shadow work? Doesn't that feel like when you're going through a bit of a rough patch in your life? Doesn't that feel like when you're met with a challenge that triggers you? Doesn't that feel like the healing process in general? It feels like hell, right? Hell historically has also been known as just the underworld, the earthly aspects of ourselves that we deal with. So it can be uncomfortable, but that doesn't mean it's evil. That doesn't mean that it's a place you go to for punishment. I feel like the punishment happens when we do that to ourselves, when we surround ourselves with people who punish us, abuse us, use us, take advantage of us. But we can alchemize that pain and give it purpose. And that's what hell is all about. It's a transformative fire deep within the darkness of ourselves. It's a light that can be found in the darkness. Like, think of the earth, right? Deep in the earth, it's dark, right? But if you go deeper, there is fire. There is liquid fire in the earth. There's light, hot light, transformative, destructive fire, creative fire, heat within the earth, the core of that darkness. And that exists within us as well. Roots cannot find their anchor without that depth and that darkness. Your roots are found in the dark. We all gestate in darkness. And it can be uncomfortable. It can be uncertain. It can be confusing. But the thing about the darkness is it opens up our other senses in order to face those things that we have been conditioned to be afraid of. So, what if we looked at hell and heaven and purgatory in between? I'll talk about that in a second, a little bit more too, as cycles of rooting and ascending. Looking at the most uncomfortable parts of ourselves, our lives, our relationships, our belief systems, our structures that we have built around us, our habits. What if we looked at the hell within us, the darkness, as a cycle, not a destination, not a prison, but a portal a portal and an opening and a doorway to seeing things within us and around us differently. And then we can enter the purgatory, which is the realm of purification, where we transform all of those hellish things about ourselves and our lives and our beliefs in preparation for the ascension process, the ascension cycle, which is to rise, to become taller, to become better, to become stronger, wiser, clearer, and find a more alchemized version of ourselves, our higher selves, our best selves, the parts of us that know better, but have been blocked by the stuff that's been clogged in our roots. And what if ascension is also not just some destination? What if it is also a cycle? What if we could just look at life as a continuous cycle of rising and falling and purging and purifying and transforming? Wouldn't that make it more beautiful than feeling like we have this pressure to arrive at something or some place? Wouldn't it be more beautiful to erase these hierarchical mentalities of like, oh, well, I'm more evolved than you, I'm here? No, you're not. Evolution is not about that. Evolution is not a, what is it? It's not like a beauty pageant. It's not a competition. Everything evolves as it's meant to, including people. And everything is consistently evolving and growing, changing and adapting. And everything goes through its own cycles of hell, discomfort, challenges, trials. And it's in that process that we decide what we do with that. And that's how we take it to the purgatory process of purging all the stuff about it that holds us back, purging all the things within ourselves that are untrue to our path and have held us hostage. And we make it something better than it ever was. And we ascend, we rise, we get up on our own 2 feet, more actualized than we were at the beginning of that cycle. And we get to take that and bring it to the world. And that's how we can create a space of, heaven on earth, or just making the world a better place. We don't even need to call it heaven. Heaven, at its definition, just means absolute bliss and pleasure, freedom, happiness. But we can't fully create, nor can we accept it and appreciate it without being firmly rooted and grounded in the hell we've been through, in the darkness we've grown in. And when we can see neither as better than the other or worse than the other, but more so aspects of our most divine and balanced being, we'll go through these cycles without all the other attachments or the bells and whistles, because you don't need those either. So I wanted to elaborate on this more. Wherever you are at is where you are needed to be in your evolution. Okay. And evolution takes place successfully when you accept where you are and you grow through it and you learn new things about yourself and about your environment to get through it. Don't focus on other people's evolution because they're evolving in the way they need to evolve. Evolution is not linear. Okay? Just as the path from the hell cycle to the heaven cycle is not linear. Look at all of these opportunities in your life as portals, not prisons. And I really and truly feel like that will add to your peace. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope you enjoy this little format of recording as much as I have. You may see more videos like this. I really do enjoy just recording my voice. I missed when Facebook used to allow live voice recordings. I hope they bring that back because I really enjoyed that. Because as much as I love doing face to face videos, I love this format too because it's less distracting. You can just listen and you can take it with you wherever. And I enjoy it a lot. It's a lot more meditative, contemplative. So I might actually end up doing little segments like this more often. So if you enjoyed it as much as I did, I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your feedback on this topic. And again, I'd love to know where you are at in your own cycle. Are you feeling like you're in a more dark place right now? And if so, let's talk about it. Let's help you look at the roots of this and unclog them, but also accept your darkness as a medicine. And if you're in the purgatory state, what are you purging? And how will purging that change and shift things for the better? And if you're in your heaven state, your ascension, your rising, your shining state, what are you taking out into the world now that you've come to that part of your cycle? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. I will be available today. Today is Friday, February 20th. I'll be available today from 12 to 7 p.m. if you'd like to book a one-on-one soul-to-soul session with me. There are plenty of holistic offerings that I have available, and they will be listed in the link in this description for this video. And if you don't know what you need, but you know you need some kind of support, I would suggest booking a consultation. If you would just like to donate to what I'm doing on and offline, all the sacred work I'm doing on and offline, I would appreciate that. And you can also do that at the link in the description, and I would appreciate it a lot. Not expected, but totally appreciated. If this video found and fed your soul and you feel like it would help someone close to you, I would appreciate you sharing it with them. So, and if you have any questions about this topic that you'd like me to elaborate on, please comment below. Thank you for listening, and just thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Blessed be. Bye for now.